Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about two questions and Arizona and how Arizona can teach us about why there are Democrats that, well, they really don't seem like Democrats. They're not progressive, not particularly progressive. They're kind of centrist. Some might even call them corporate, right? Okay, so one of the questions was, hey, why are there Democrats who aren't progressive? They're supposed to be the Progressive Party. And the other question is, since Sinema in Arizona is going to run as an independent, and the Democratic Party is probably going to have Gallego, does that mean that the Democratic Party is going to go after Sinema and the way that she voted? No, definitely not. No, as far as the Democratic establishment, you're probably not going to hear much at all about her. They're not going to devote a lot of money to going after her. The main person they're going to go after is Lake, and they'll probably run positive stuff about Gallego. But they're not going to go after Sinema at all. And the reason for that is simple. She's an independent now, okay? But she currently caucuses with the Democratic Party, which helps them maintain the majority in the Senate. So the progressives that are in the Democratic Party, they're not a fan of hers, right? Because her votes are not progressive in any way. But she didn't get booted out. They're not going to waste money going after her. Because if she wins, she continues to caucus with the Democratic Party, which is the expectation. It's a seat. It helps them maintain the majority. And as we can see from the giant show over in the House, maintaining the majority is kind of important. So, that also explains why you have Democrats in various areas that aren't really progressive, and why the Democratic Party doesn't push them too hard to take more progressive positions. This is particularly true in the House, where districts they're little chunks of the state. And the message that it takes to get elected in that district, well, it may not be very progressive. But if that person wins as a Democrat, it helps them get the majority, set the legislative agenda. And they can count on them for votes for, like, the budget. And in the budget, they could slide some progressive stuff in that the candidate really won't have to answer for come election time or re-election time. But that same candidate, they may vote against a super progressive standalone bill because that message doesn't play where they're at. That's how you end up with that. And it's pretty common, but I would not expect the Democratic establishment, the Democratic machine, to go after Sinema. They'll promote Gallego, my guess. I would hope they would do that. And they'll go after Lake hard. But that's it. If she wins, well, we didn't go after you, so you need to still caucus with us. If she loses, well, okay. To the upper echelons of the political machine, one's just as good as the other because it helps them maintain the majority. The same thing plays out on the other side to a lesser degree because, maintaining a conservative position it's relatively easy. Just nothing gets to change and we try to go back to the good old days type of thing. So there's not as much deviation. But there is still some, which is why you have the show you have over in the House. Because there are a lot of let's just call them newer politicians that maybe don't understand politics too well. And they don't understand how much they're damaging their own party and, by extension, their own reelection chances by what's happening over in the House. But that explains it. That's why it happens. That's why you have such divergent views. It's why the Democratic Party, never really went after Manchin or tried to push him into a more progressive position. So West Virginia, and they got that seat, counts towards the majority. That's what it's about. So hopefully, as you watch this election in Arizona, because it is going to be consequential, you'll get to see a very ready example of a political party maintaining the majority over an individual candidate's personal platform, because having the majority allows them to set the legislative agenda, which allows them to move at least some progressive stuff forward. And that's why it takes so long. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.